Video the Queen Tiana.
I just want to say this because this really been on my mind lately. I have nothing against the plain Jane females. You know, and what I mean by that, like the females who doesn't go out, the female who doesn't like get their makeup done, the female who doesn't really get their hair done often. The plain Jane females, you know what I'm saying? Like, y'all know what I'm talking about. I don't have nothing against y'all, but why is it so hard for us pretty girls to come across a decent guy? It just seems like all the guys, the good guys, always like cuff the plain Jane females. And I feel like, you know, us pretty girls, and I'm not calling the plain Jane females ugly. I'm just saying like the pretty girls that's extra, you know, we love to dress up, we love fashion, we love keeping our nails and our hair done. And we just like to look good, you know what I'm saying? But my thing is, it's hard being a pretty girl because I feel like it's a curse. Because I feel like we go through so much, and I feel like we always got to prove ourselves to a nigga for a nigga to realize like we are the one, like we good, we're a good girl. But I just feel like, you know, being pretty is just a fucking curse. And, you know, I done dealt with, you know, guys or whatever, and I done, you know, have a conversation with guys, and they'll be like, oh, I'm scared of you. Like, what? What you mean you scared of me? Like, I don't be getting that. Like, what you mean? Why are you scared of me? I'm not going to harm you, little old me. Like, I'm not going to harm you. I'm not going to hurt you. So why would you feel like you scared of me? I don't know. Is it because they know we got options and they feel like we can find somebody that's better than them or something like that? Because I don't know. I just need answers from the guys. I need anybody to come in or inbox me and let me know, why do guys always say that to pretty girls? They always say, oh, I'm scared of you. I'm scared of love. I'm scared to date you. Why is that? I just need answers. And it's because y'all go and cuff the plain Jane females. Y'all go marry them. Y'all go do anything to please them. Y'all treat them like the queen that they are. And like I said, I don't have nothing against the plain Jane females. I'm speaking for the females that keep their hair, their nails done, just keep themselves up every day, all day. So I need answers. Somebody please, yeah.
Look, man. Look, like I always tell y'all, drug dealer, like wannabe kingpin, scammer, and robber. If he don't got all the money that he got to his name in cash, if he don't got it in a shoebox, if he don't got it in a shoebox, if he don't got it if he doesn't have his money in a pillowcase, she's not interested, okay? The guy that goes to work 5 days a week, pay taxes, he got health insurance, he got dental insurance, he got life insurance, he got disability insurance. He goes to the gym. He doesn't take life chances. He doesn't take penitentiary chances. That guy is corny. That guy is square. That guy is lame. You know, these other guys, this is another thing that they tell me in real life and the woman on here. Y'all can go on my page. Matter of fact, let me play this video. This was just yesterday. This is just last night. This is what one of our queens told me just last night. She's not the first one, but this is just last night, just for extra clarification.
Women want a man. Women are attracted to masculine men. So them dusties you be talking about, that's bums and Pookie Ray Rays, they got this masculine energy that's just attractive. So that's why they're being picked over like a guy who don't have that, you know, type of situation. So if women want a man. Women are attracted to masculine men. So them dusties you be talking about, that's bums and Pookie Ray Rays, they got this masculine energy that's just attractive. So that's why they're being picked over like a guy who don't have that, you know, type of situation. So if women want a man. Women are
Big Mike Wavy, you can't make this up. You cannot make any of this stuff up. Like, I really wish that when I say these things that I could just be like talking out my ass and not making any sense. But it's true, okay? They say it all the time. They say these guys, they are more masculine. They have a masculine energy that these other men just happen to not have. I know he's not any good for me. I know he's going to dog me out, make me a single mother, but he's masculine. Those other guys, they're not masculine. You cannot make this stuff up. You cannot make this stuff up. Anyways, Marty's not here, so I'm gonna bring Division up to answer the questions first. And then I'm gonna bring you up Bethany, and Miss Betty. I'm gonna bring y'all up.
What's up? What's up?
What's good, G? Hold on, Division. Marty just requested. I'm gonna bring you right back up, right?
All right.
All right. Yeah, I need Marty to speak. They aren't masculine at all. They are masculine, Saeed. They clearly it's something about them that y'all are attracted to, that the other guys that are corny and square and lame and working on themselves or have their life together. They don't have the masculinity that y'all are looking for. But then, like I said, when y'all have y'all epiphany moment, when y'all are, when you have all that trauma and pain, when you have your little peanut head son Keenan and his sister, then you want to go to the guy that you deem to be corny, square, and lame. And that's not happening these days. That is not happening. Anyways, I'm gonna bring Marty up here. I'm gonna have Marty answer these questions first. Um, I think Marty is a great person to speak first. A lot of you women will learn. A lot of you women will learn something from what he's about to say. Goodness gracious, it's a lot of people in here. Riz, Tina, I see you. I'm gonna bring Marty up first though.
Peace.
Sounds like you've been hurt. Yeah, I've been hurt, Savvy Jaw. I've been hurt because you probably fit the shoes of the woman that I'm talking about. So I've been hurt. Ladarius and Keontae and Javion and Jamonte, they done took all the women that I ever wanted in high school and college. Right. Anyways, Marty, what's up, bro?
Peace.
Marty, first question. Do you agree or disagree with her idea that it's hard for pretty girls to come across a good guy? Why or why not?
Pretty women, yeah, I do believe that it's harder for pretty girls to come across good guys because pretty girls aren't attracted to good guys. They don't want them, they don't like them, they don't look for them, they're not checking for them. So what pretty girls want, or girls who have pretty privilege, is they want bad boys to be good boys for them. And then when they don't, they hold all men accountable for that. So they say, hey, you need to hold these men accountable because he doesn't want to be in little Jaden's life. You need to turn my bad boy into a good man and hold him accountable, because I chose to have sex with or reproduce with an irresponsible man, and now I need the responsible men to hold him accountable. So yeah, it's hard for pretty women to do that. Women are not designed to really evaluate a man's character. Y'all don't know what you're looking at. Another man can talk to a man for I can talk to a man for 5 or 10 minutes and tell whether or not he grew up with a father or a strong male figure in his life. And I can talk to a man for you know uh, probably 30 minutes and figure out if he's full of shit or not. We just know what it sounds like. We know what it looks like when men have these stuff together, when they're consistent and all of that. But y'all, women are not made to evaluate men in that way. And so, and then you add to that the fact that women have an obsession with dating bad boys and toxic boys and all of that shit. And then you add to that a culture that says body count don't matter, so you can sleep with whoever you want. You add to that a culture that says I'm single, I'm independent, I don't need a man. And then you got women who think that they can deal with men like they're men themselves and just use them for sex. And you add all of that in a pot, you stir it, and you get 80% of the kids born out of wedlock and a whole bunch of women talking about trauma and shit like that. And everybody needs to heal their trauma and all of this shit just because they've been getting ran through, and they don't want to accept that it's because of their own choices. That if every man in the world wants to sleep with you, then the man in your bed is the one that you picked, and that makes you responsible for what type of man he is. If you don't disqualify men of low character, if you don't disqualify scammers, if you don't disqualify thugs and drug dealers, and you act like those are the only men who are available, when that's bullshit. You went to high school, and in high school there were kids who took their grades seriously. You just weren't interested in those boys, and I get it. I'm not interested in certain women, but there is a cost that comes along with the men that you pick, and you don't get to blame other people for that. I'm sorry, you don't.
So, Marty, why do you think quality, high caliber men don't marry the woman that's the pretty girl that's quote unquote popping on the ground? So like, like she said in that video, when she's talking about plain Jane girls, she's saying the opposite of a plain Jane girl is the girl that we keep our hair done, we keep our nails done, we're outside, we go outside a lot, we like to party. She like, I don't know if you were here earlier, Marty, but you heard the audio.
I
Everything
heard
she
all of the
said, she didn't
audio.
say one thing, her personality, her character. She didn't say anything about any skills or
Yeah.
attributes that she could bring to a man in a relationship. So Marty, why do you think that, men high, quality men of a high caliber, that they will sleep with these women that are the opposite of the plain Janes, but they will marry the plain Jane woman?
All right. I don't think women really understand the life cycle of a responsible man. Okay, so a man, when he's a responsible man and he's taking his own life seriously, then he has access to things that he doesn't take advantage of, right? Now, I had periods of time in my life where I just like, enjoyed myself and dated multiple girls. But for the most part, I never took full advantage of the damage that I could do, right? I'm over 6 foot tall. I'm a multiple six-figure earner. I was quarterback in high school. I was a flyer in the military, so I wore a flight suit. Everybody thought I was a pilot. Like I've had a lot of access to women my whole life. And I never have been the type of guy, even though I have had my fun, I've never been the type of guy to just go dumb and do everything that I could do. And the reason why is because to be successful in life, you have to show restraint. And that's one of the things that having a man in your life that helps to raise you teaches you and is necessary. Because when you're a young man and you cross that line from 12, 13, and you get all those hormones that turn you into a man, it's like getting your superpowers, right? Especially if you're one of the lucky guys who are win the genetic lottery where you're not too hard on the eyes and you're tall and handsome and athletic and smart, right? So if you are one of the 10% of men or 5% of men that check all of those boxes where you can attract a woman with your physicality and you can you've got a mind and a mouth on you to be able to speak, then you have to be able to understand restraint, right? You have to be able to restrain your libido because it'll tear your entire life apart. Because girls legitimately will look at you and your curly hair and be like, I want a baby with curly hair. Or they'll look at you with your light eyes and say, I want a baby with light eyes. And legitimately, like, and this is advice I give to young men, like you have to treat every single woman like she wants to have your baby, no matter what she says. That's how you have to behave as a young man. You have to guard yourself in that manner. Any woman you sleep with might want to get pregnant by you. So these men live their lives in restraint. They live their lives in a state of hyper focus. It's a handful of guys in this world who are hyper successful, who are hyper focused on success, right? When I was working in corporate America, building myself up, I was working anywhere from 10 to 12 hours a day. I worked 70 to 80 hours a week, and I did that for a decade, you know? And so if I'm not going to I'm not going to wife a woman that can tear that shit down. I'm not going to wife somebody that can tear that shit down. I will go down in attractiveness to go up in agreeability, to go up in loyalty, to go up in consistency, to go up in modesty, right? I've dated, my ex-girlfriend right now is, internet famous. She's got 300,000 followers on 3 or 4 different platforms. And, like if you go out with a woman like that, you could be fighting. You could be fighting because somebody comes and they disrespectful. So you have to have a woman that's going to protect you. And if you got a woman who's out trying to get the attention of everybody, then, you're risking it all. And everything that you work for goes down the drain. So men don't take these women seriously a lot of times when they're hyper successful. Men don't. You see rappers and actors do that. But rappers and actors and stuff like that, they money come different. If you're somebody who's in the business class or somebody who started a business himself and become very successful through hard work and stuff like that, then you're looking for a woman who is going to be modest and a woman that is going to be consistent, not some woman dressed like a drag queen with eyelashes that are an inch away from her face, and a Bozo the Clown hair helmet wig on, covered in tattoos and shit, with a fake booty and some fake boobs. Like, dudes are not looking to, nobody wants that for the wife, the mother of their children, thinking to themselves, like, I'm going to have a daughter that grows up to look just like you. And yes, I'll have sex with you, but I won't ever take you serious. Like, never. I can't afford to take you serious. You're not a serious person. You haven't taken your life serious, right? You can out having sex with whoever you want. Body count don't matter, right? All the stuff that's valuable to a man who's got his shit together, you didn't do any of that. You don't care about that. You're trying to match my energy by thinking if you're a hustler and you chase the bag, it's gonna make me respect you as a partner. Maybe a business partner, but a life partner, when you out here doing whatever you want to do with whoever you want to do it with? Absolutely not. And you may not like to hear that, ladies, but if you want to know how men think that are on that level, I was, doing corporate sales for 17 years. And there were people who made $100,000 a month and people, or $100,000 a year, and people who made $150,000 a month. The guy that sat right next to me made 150 grand a month, right? Where if you want to deal with men who are earning that type of money in the business sector, those are very serious, well educated, well read people. And they are not taking chances on the silly shit that you're doing. And so when you drive through the suburbs and you go through a neighborhood filled up with 600, 700, and $800,000 houses, and it's a neighborhood full of them in gated communities, and you wonder who in the hell is living in these houses, because they got 200 and 300 houses in the subdivision, and all of them is 6 and 7 and 800 or $1 million homes. That's your business class. Those aren't rappers and actors. And those men don't pick these types of women. We do not. We just don't. So we're not going to take you serious. If you're wearing a hose uniform, the thing that women don't want to accept is you get to self-sort. You want us to treat you better than you are presenting yourself. And if you dress like a hoe, men are going to treat you like one. They're not going to treat you like a princess or a queen or the Virgin Mary when I can see your camel toe or you booty shaking in a damn video that you posted online for attention. Nobody's going to take that seriously, but they will smash. And you can have whatever judgment you want about that, as long as you know the reality so that you know what you're dealing with when you sit down at the dealer's table and get your cards.
Yep. So then before we go to the next question, so a man that, like Marty said, that has worked extremely hard to get to the position that he's at in life, and has been able, by the grace of God, to obtain certain assets, and has access to certain resources, and when it comes to like his legacy, and the woman that he wants to leave his legacy with, the woman that he wants to have his children, it's much deeper than how fat her ass is
Yeah, I just saw
and how
somebody in
big
the
her
chat.
dick.
I just saw somebody in the chat that was like, "Black women stay single until you find somebody to put some respect on your name." Put some respect on your own name. Like, you have to understand what women respect is different. You guys have stuff you respect, right? You ladies have things you respect. Okay, men have stuff that they respect. And if you don't know what those things are or care what they are, then why are you asking for us to treat you better than you treat yourself? I had a woman tell me, well, if you think body count does matter, then men should be celibate. Why should men be celibate if because we think body count matters for women? They men who are making something of themselves are not going to be celibate while they're doing it. That's just reality. So let's be practical. So who should they have sex with? They should have sex with women who think body count don't matter. That's who they should have sex with. They shouldn't have sex with women who are wives. I got a homeboy today. That called me. He lives in Chicago. He lives in Farrakhan's neighborhood. Wealthy guy. Okay. He's got a couple of girls he's talking to in Africa because he's building a home for himself in Africa. He wants to move to Africa, right? But he's got some women he's dealing with while he's here. So he was asking me for advice about one of the women. So he calls me up. He asked me for advice about one of the women. The first question I asked him is, I said, what does she say she wants? He said, man, she said she wants like a relationship and marriage. I was like, do you want that from her? He's like, no. I was like, well, then you have no business having sex with this woman. There are too many women who think body count don't matter for you to be fucking a woman who wants a husband. So you can't deal with her. He's like, you're right. I know I can't deal with her. I just needed to hear it from somebody else. Right? So, ladies, you get to self sort. If you want to move like a hoe, there's always going to be guys that are willing to smash, period. But men aren't going to treat you like you're valuable when you giving yourself away for free. And they shouldn't. You get to self sort. You are who you say you are. You are what you do. You're not who you think you are. You are what you do.
So Marty, so the third and fourth one are statements. So these are the last two. So the third one, this is a statement. Women love to be objectified by men. They only make it seem like it's an issue in conversation. True or false?
That's bullshit. Like, here's fellas, this is the first thing you need to know about women. Like, believe half of what you hear and none of what you see, bro. Like, that's what, like, women are not made to have a conversation about these types of things with you in an open environment. That's why when you talk to women about body count, the first thing they tell you is, well, I'll just lie. She don't have to tell you, right? Okay, well, now you a hoe and a liar, right? So when you have to understand that women are not going to, they're going to tell you that what they want is a guy who listens and is calm and patient and this and that. And then you ask them, okay, is your current man like that? Was your ex-boyfriend like that? Is your baby father like that? And that's when
No.
you hear that, no, absolutely not. No, he was toxic. He slapped the shit out of me. No, he had sex with my sister and my mom and, videotaped it. Like, the wildest shit you ever want to hear in your life. That's what they're doing. So what a woman says and what she does is different. That's why you have to talk to other men to understand the reality of women so that you can move accordingly. Because if you talk to women, they're going to tell you what they want you to see and how they want you to think and what they want you to think about them. They're never going to tell you the fucking truth about what they're doing, because a lot of them is much more scandalous than they'll ever let you know. So women want to women want to be sexualized when it benefits them, but they do not want to be sexualized when it don't benefit them. Right? There was this girl that she was a white girl. She was in HR, and I mean, this girl, she was a dancer. She had spent her whole young life dancing. So I don't know if any of the ladies here are dancers, but she wasn't like a stripper dancer. She was like, professional dancer. So she had
Right.
them dancers'
Right.
legs and quads and booty and waistline. I mean, the shit was ridiculous. And like she sat where I could see her from my office. That was just where her desk happened to be positioned in the building. And so every day she stopped by, she see me, this, that, and the other, say some flirtatious shit to me. And after like a year and a half of her sitting by my desk or sitting near my desk, we had this flirty relationship. I didn't mess with her because I didn't sit where I ate, but it was a flirty relationship. Now there was another dude, and he was one of them dudes with a neck beard, some thick ass glasses, and, he was somebody who I mentored. He sat outside of my office and he said some shit to her. It wasn't nowhere near as bad as the shit I say to her. And he got walked into HR and that motherfucker lost his job. So women want to pick and choose what is harassment, what is not. And that's fine. Fellas, you just got to understand the rules. There are dudes that can get away with shit that you cannot, right? But this whole I don't want to be sexualized thing, the fuck they don't. Women love to be sexualized by the men they want attention from. Women love attention. They love it. They want attention from you even if they don't want you. They want you to look and want them and never even be able to come and talk to them. If a woman goes to a nightclub and they play all the songs she like and the music is hitting and none of the men that she thinks are attractive even look her way, then she had a terrible time at that nightclub. If she go to a nightclub and they play fucking country music the whole night and the men that she were interested in looked at her and didn't even talk to her, then she had a great fucking night. Women are playing a type of psychological game with themselves and the world that as a man you will never truly fucking understand. Ever. So they
Marty,
love to be sexualized and they love to use that to their advantage. And you just have to make sure you don't get caught in a blast radius of a woman, playing this type of psychotic game with herself and the world around her, or else she'll ruin your life for fun. Like a woman will fuck
hey,
up your
Marty,
life in her spare time and think, look at this shit going on with Meg Thee Stallion. Look at this shit. She fucking this
don't
whole
even
man.
talk about it. Don't talk about that.
She'll
Don't talk
fuck this
about
whole
that.
man's life
We'll
up,
get
and
you.
it's a whole bunch of lies and bullshit.
Marty, listen. Listen, Marty. It's not just about being sexualized or objectified by the man that they want. Like I said, Marty, it is about when it's beneficial to them.
Yeah.
When there's a party, when there's a party, Marty, and they say, ladies, if y'all get in, like I was just in Boston, Marty, a couple weeks ago at my cousin's place. And we went out with this girl. She had the whole weekend set up for us. You know what time we got to the place that we went to on Saturday night, Marty? We got there at 11 p.m. You know why we got there at 11 p.m.? Because all women were getting in free before 11 p.m. So, like I said, Marty, when it's they're being objectified. The promoter
Oh,
isn't
they love
saying
it.
women
They
get in
love it
free
when it
before this
benefits them.
time. The promoter isn't saying women get in free before this time because he's not objectifying you. No, he is objectifying you. When they say ladies drink free until this time, Marty, when it comes to job opportunities, when it just comes to just whenever it's beneficial for them, they like it, they appreciate it, they respect it. But when it doesn't work out for them, that's why I say it's only in conversation that they'll say that they don't like it and they don't appreciate it and they don't want to be objectified and this, that, and the third. But look, I just want y'all to think about something. Think about how easy it is to see breasts and booty nowadays. There's a lot of these women, a lot, and think about it. A lot of these women, even if you haven't seen their coochie, you kind of know what it looks like. You've seen the camel toe, you've seen the print. You can go on Instagram nowadays. You know, Twitter is basically a corn site these days. Twitter is basically a corn site these days. So for them to say that they don't like to be like objectified, no, they do like to
Oh
be
yeah,
objectified.
Twitter
Only
and
when it's not
Instagram,
beneficial.
bro. I don't even go to Instagram no more. I don't go to Instagram anymore. Like it's just too much for me, bro. Like I went the last time I went on Instagram, I was laying in bed. My daughter was laying on my chest, and I opened up Instagram because I saw I had a message from it. And when I opened it up and I went in there, and I don't like or follow any booty shakers. I don't
Me
like
neither.
or follow no booty shaking women. If if
Me
if
neither.
if if you follow me, that's one thing, right? But I don't like, follow, share, no booty shakers. And bro, it was a woman that was in some tight shorts, and she had both her legs pinned behind her head with her tongue out, licking in between her chest. And I'm like, what in the fuck am I even seeing, bro? Like, what is
Marty,
this,
listen.
man? Like, it was
Marty,
out, and you
listen.
could see everything, bro. Like when I'm telling, and she even had a wet spot where her cookie was. I was like, how, why would you post this?
Marty, that's my point. That's my point. Where we're literally living in a day and age to where you even see it on TikTok. To be honest with you, depending on how your algorithm is, but like any platform you go on, they're literally objectifying themselves all day, every day.
And
So to say that you don't
here's
like
the thing. This is
objectified
the
or you
part
don't
of
want to
it.
be
This is the
objectified,
part of it,
not
Dopo.
true. You
That's
do.
the part of it that's disingenuous is this, bro. Is you benefit when you love to take advantage and you expect the benefit of this shit. You when the structure is benefiting you, you love to take advantage. You are mad when the structure fails to meet your expectations for you to be able to sexualize yourself to your benefit. But as soon as it's something that don't benefit you, then y'all want to talk about the fucking patriarchy. And that's why every time I hear that word, I'm like, get the fuck out my face with that shit. I got a young man that, is damn near living with me right now, right? He's my son's best friend. And, he was just telling me a story about how, his sister jumped on him and was hitting him to try to get him out the bathroom because she needed to use the bathroom. And his sister is half his size. He's a 16-year-old boy. So, and he plays football, wrestles, all of this stuff. And she's jumping on him, hitting him like he's like, man, she was legitimately trying to fight me. See, this is the patriarchy right there. The patriarchy is the reason that he didn't put her through a wall. right? Because if it was a man that was 5'4", 125 pounds hitting on him, then he would have threw him out a window. But because it's a woman, y'all know y'all can lay hands on a man, slap, poke, punch, throw shit, kick, scratch, all of that stuff. And you know a man's not going to do anything. Y'all complain about the patriarchy, but then at the same time, if he would have done anything to her, then she would have exploded on him because her expectation is the patriarchy. Her expectation is, as a man, these are your roles and these are the things you're supposed to do. And I'm expecting for you to do them no matter how I behave. And that's why women think they can go out, dress where you can see the crack of their ass. And they're like, you know what? It's not up to me to keep you from looking at the crack of my ass. You're just supposed to show some self-control and not look. And if you're staring, what, haven't you seen boobs before? This is more of women. I get to do whatever the fuck I want because I'm a woman. And then as a man, you need to show Herculean self-control. And if you fail on any of these metrics, then it's because there's something wrong with you and there's something wrong with society. And it's the patriarchy and all of this bullshit. And that's why you got a lot of men who are just walking off the chessboard. They're sick of dealing with these double talking, disingenuous, double standard, women. A lot of men are tired of this shit. And this is from a guy, ladies, let me tell you something. Y'all set up and talked about Noble. Oh, and he's being hurt. And, and he's like, yeah, this is what I'm one of the pre-selected guys, right? Pre-selected. I'm one of the guys that I get the attention that I want from women. I get the girls that I want consistently. If I put up pictures of the chicks I dated, they all models, right? So, and I'm telling you that even being in the winner's circle, looking at this game, it looks like dog shit. And I'm one of the guys on the boat.
So Marty, last one, Marty. Most modern women do not appreciate and respect their natural beauty. They've gotten to the point they identify as the character they paint on their face rather than who they see fresh out the shower. True or false?
Is that my line?
No,
Yeah, I think
I'm
that's
just,
my
no,
line, Noble. Yeah.
I literally put that together myself. No, like, so
Yeah.
let me say it
Yeah,
again
no,
for everybody.
that's
Most,
100% true. That's 100% true. Women think that they are who they paint on their face. They think they are who they can make themselves look like and not what they actually look like when they wake up in the morning. And then when they don't have the outcomes that are consistent with the level of beauty that they can emulate, then they say patriarchy. It's patriarchy. It's because men only respect beauty. Because even though they're taking advantage of it, they hate it at the same time. They hate the fact. I'm gonna tell you something. One of the biggest letdowns that women receive is when men. It's one of the things that they look for, but it's also one of the things that's the biggest letdown when a man just wants sex from them. I'm gonna tell you when they deal with the guy and they're like, "Oh, this man is smart. He's this, he's that," and they do everything to be attractive to the man, and then the man wants the sex, and the woman's like, "Damn, all he wants is sex." It's one of the biggest letdowns to a woman. They take advantage of it. They might even go with it. They might be horny for the guy, but in the back of their mind, they're like, God damn, all he wants is sex. And the reason why is because they know that this man is buying the image that they portray and not the person inside. And the difference between who it is that they actually are and the person. Women talk about men putting out this representative. Oh, well, all you get to meet is their representative. Do you know how fucking rich that is coming from women who spend an hour and a half painting on a face in a mirror with a wig on? Do you know how rich that sounds to men that y'all feel like y'all meeting somebody's representative when y'all look like it's a low down dirty shame when you take off all the prosthetics and shit that y'all wear to push this up and push that down and tuck that in and you drawing cheekbones and shit on your face. You done drew a whole different nose on top of your nose. You done Michael Jackson your nose, and then you sit up and talk about you meeting somebody's representative. Do you know how disconnected from reality you have to be to not see the hypocrisy in that? It's unfucking real. It's unreal. And ladies, that's men keep telling you that they prefer natural women. And here you got women online saying that this is what we marry. But then you got women that say, well, how come you try to talk to the Instagram model? Because we want to have sex. Because we want to have sex, and she don't believe in body count. And if I'm not ready to marry, if I haven't made it to the stage in my life where it's time for me to marry, then the best person for me to deal with are the BBL chicks. The best person for me to deal with is somebody who don't want nothing. And the problem that you ladies have is y'all act like y'all are men. You act like you can do what a man do. You act like you can give somebody access to your body and it doesn't matter. But the truth of the matter is, you know it does. And that's why you say, well, what if I heal? Then does my body count matter if I heal? Why do you have to heal from some shit if it's okay for you to do it? I don't need to do no healing from the fucking I did before I settled down. I didn't have to heal from that shit. The reason you got to heal from it is because you're moving in an agency that's not yours as in the divine feminine. That's not what you're supposed to be doing. The reason that y'all upset is because you're trying to move like a man and it's not working. Because it's not your space. It's not how you were built. It's not what God intended for you. And then you sit up, you let a whole bunch of dudes run through you, and then the men that you want don't want you. And so instead of looking at yourself and taking responsibility for that, what do we get from y'all? The patriarchy. Holy shit. It's the patriarchy's fault. It's the patriarchy's fault. I argued with men online that body count didn't matter. And they all told me, they were all telling me that I shouldn't be giving my body to anybody who didn't want to marry me. I shouldn't give a child to anybody who don't want to marry me. Right. And I pretended like they were trying to devalue me and say that that means that my value is only my sex. And so I gave my sex away for nothing. And now I want a man to value me. But I have put the price tag I've put on myself is the cost of a fucking drink. Because I've had sex with men for less than that. And now you want somebody to value you above what value you placed on yourself. And it don't work like that. Sorry, ladies. At some point, y'all gonna have to stop having these intellectual, philosophical pontifications about bullshit. These long-winded conversations that y'all have. I see all of these conversations online where women go back and forth about body count mattering and shit like that. Like, when are y'all just gonna accept that men have two different standards? The women we want to have sex with and the women we want to marry. And ladies, you don't get to move between those two different realms. Once you put yourself in the whole realm, everybody who knows you put yourself there, you're there. That's where you at. You may think you did a sage cleaning on your vulva or whatever the hell y'all think y'all doing. You may think you did a yoni ritual to reconnect your hymen to the spiritual cosmos and shit, or whatever the hell y'all talking about these days. But men don't think that way. So only other women are going to agree with you. And unless you plan on marrying a woman, then you need to care about what the hell we think. And if you don't care about what we think, then you get what you get. And it's not the patriarchy. It's that men have preferences, just like women have preferences. We know we need to be tall. We know we need to make money. We know we need to be interesting. We know we need to be able to create a vibe. We know we need to be able to do this shit. That's why men pay for dating coaches. Men get with their homeboys. When I was a kid, we go to the roller rink. I'm aging myself. I'm dating myself by saying this. But we go to the roller rink and we see if we can talk to girls and get their numbers. It was practice. The point was to get rejected. The point was to get rejected. We had to practice to figure out what you wanted and how to talk to you. Y'all don't have to do that because the fish jump in the boat. All you have to do is understand the nature of a goddamn fish. And y'all couldn't care less. And then when you come up starving, you act like that. The problem is with the lake. The problem is the patriarchy. It's not. You the problem. You the problem. And you're going to keep getting the outcomes you get unless you move different. And a lot of you ladies, I'm sorry to tell you this, you've made choices and decisions that have excluded you for the rest of your life from the shit that you want. Just like a man who gets a felony and he knows he can't be an executive nowhere unless he starts his own business. And now he's the executive of a lawn care company he started. Shit. There are certain choices you make in life where you don't get a get back. You don't get to take it back. And some of you ladies have done things, sorry to tell you, that have completely excluded you from certain outcomes you may want. Too bad, so sad. I'm sorry to tell you that. The same thing is true for men. There are some men who have fucked their lives up to the extent
that there ain't no coming back to the things that they want the most. So some of y'all can't be saved. And I'm sorry to tell you that. And that may sound fucked up, but it's true. Because life is not a fairy tale. This shit don't all have to balance out in the end. Sometimes you get sometimes it just don't work out. Right? So I get sick and tired of this zero accountability mindset and this completely delusional mindset about how reality is supposed to approach your decisions with some type of understanding that people owe you understanding your background and why you made the choices you made, and that they should forgive you for the stupid shit you did to yourself or the choices that you made, or they should sit and work through your trauma with you because they need to understand why you've been through all of this. You don't know why she did it. You don't know why she fucked 50 men. So you need to understand that. No, I don't. You don't need to understand why somebody make $35,000 a year and you don't want them. You don't
Right.
want them.
Right.
You don't need to understand why somebody make 50 grand a year. You don't want them. You don't need to
Right.
understand why somebody 5'6". You don't want them. You don't need to
Right.
understand why somebody grill is fucked up. When you talk to them, you don't want them. You don't need to understand why a man's shoes don't match his belt. You just don't want them. And men that want wives, when it's time for these men to settle down, they don't want hoes. And they don't need to understand why you was hoeing. They don't owe you that understanding any more than you understand a broke motherfucker some understanding. They don't owe you that. Nobody owes you shit. Nobody owes anybody shit. But y'all are so drunk off the fairy dust of your own self because y'all calling yourselves queens and goddesses and this and that you think that somebody is supposed to kiss your ass. Just because you got a whole bunch of dudes chasing after you that want to bury some dick in you. And that's not the way the world works. The man who wants you for a wife wants more from you than sex. So the shit you get away with a punk or with a simp that's willing to do anything for some punani, you're not going to get away with it with me. I'm not playing that shit with you. If you give me an attitude, you out. You yell at me, you out. You disrespect me, you out. I catch you lying one time, you out. You out. I find out you've been hoeing, you out. I don't have to deal with any of that. Men that have their shit together don't have to deal with any of that. And guess what? It's not just rich men. Men who make $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 a year, who are stable, consistently stable and secure, who have character and integrity, they don't have to accept your behavior either. Nobody does. Nobody owes you shit. So go ahead, ladies. Have a great time. Fuck everybody you want to fuck. Drink everything you want to drink. Get as high as you want to. It's your body. It's your choice. But responsibility and freedom, responsibility and power are inextricably tied together like shit and stank. So you don't get the freedom, you don't get the power without the consequences and the responsibility. You can't pull them apart. Y'all all believe in manifest mindset and karma and crystals and all of that shit, right? Y'all believe in the universal laws of attraction? Okay, that's your karma. You don't get out of your karma from your choices, your actions, your behavior. You can't sage that out of your vulva.
Marty, please mute up. I want to play something for you, and then we're gonna end it on that. Listen to this, Marty. This is on my Passport Bros live. I think you were actually here. I think you were actually here to hear what this woman had to say. But for the everyone in here that didn't hear what I'm about to play, you're about to hear it. So listen to this. Because for the black women, we always, like I said, was getting a bad rap. They're in their late 30s and 40s. People have lived lives. We have been married. We have had kids. We have been divorced. You cannot hold that over our head because you didn't do anything with your life. So you're trying to make us look bad. You had a baby with Pookie, they be saying, and things like that. Yeah, we had kids, but we lived our life. We're almost 40 years old. So what do you expect? So yeah, we have baggage, but it takes a real man to want to handle that baggage. So if you can't handle it, I mean, get on the Mayflower and go to the other sea. Miss Cutie, I was on board with you on everything that I heard you say here tonight until you just said It takes a real man to handle that baggage. I am sorry, Miss Cutie. I'm going to have to disagree with you on that, ma'am. Because there is a narrative. I'm not going to say it's a narrative amongst black women. I'm not going to say it is a very popular narrative amongst a lot of women that a man is more masculine for taking on a woman that has been through all this trauma, all this pain. She got 5 kids by 4 or 5 different men. I'm gonna respectfully have to disagree with you on that, Miss Cutie. Like a man is not more of a man or less of a man because he doesn't want to deal with anything. It's the same way. You women don't have understanding or don't have to have understanding for a man that makes $30,000-$40,000 a year, for a man that doesn't have his stuff together, and y'all disregard those men all the time. No woman say it takes a real woman to want to stay down with that man and build with him and see him come up. So I'm gonna have to respectfully disagree with you on that, Miss Cutie.
So I'm the guy that doesn't have kids. I'm gonna speak for myself. I'm dating a guy that doesn't have kids. I have 4 children. They're all D1 athletes, 3 of them. I own my own business. Let me tell you. So it's I'm a cash. With the kids, we're cash. We are prize.
No, okay. Women that have kids by multiple men, are not a catch to single childless men. They are not the prize. Absolutely not.
Actually, I'm a widow. I'm a prize.
Okay. Okay. Miss Cutie, your situation is different.
If you're a woman,
one second, Papa. It is different to be a widow. It is different to be a divorcee. I am talking about women that made conscious decisions to be sexually irresponsible, not value family, not value relationships, and they have all these different kids by all these. Those women are not prizes. Those women are not the catch to single childless men. Listen, ladies. She said it takes a real man. She said verbatim, it takes a real man to be able to take on and handle that baggage. Listen, if that's what a real man is, I am not a real man. I will never ever be a real man. Y'all can go on the comment section of that video. All the men that were in there were saying that they are not real men. If that's what a real man is, if a real man is a man that's gonna take on your baggage and handle your baggage, well, a lot of us men are not going to be real men. And if all of us are deciding that we're not going to be real men, then she's not going to have a real man to be with. Listen, that's the delusion. That's the delusion a lot of you women live in. Like, that's actually wild to say.
Yeah, like the problem is you got women.
Want to speak on that before we move on?
You got women who say, well, if it's not your preference, then blah blah blah. But the woman is saying you're not a real man unless you want to deal with me, right? So the woman isn't saying I'm some man's preference. She's saying any man that doesn't want to deal with me isn't a real man. Let me tell you, ladies, something. Most of y'all wasn't raised around real men. Y'all wasn't raised by real men. Your daddy wasn't a real man. You ain't never dated a real man. None of your baby daddies is real man. You ain't never been with a real man. And if you had a real man, you really wouldn't know what to do with his ass. And so this real man shit that I hear from women, I don't want to hear it at all. And I'm gonna tell y'all something. Any woman fellas, any woman that talks about that, let me tell you something. These are instant red flags. This is women go in the avoid box or sex only box. If you hear a woman say real man, or if she say I'm a boss chick, I'm single independent, I don't need a man. If she say body count don't matter, if she say if she say I want a man, I don't need a man. Any woman that says any of that shit, they're in the avoid box. Avoid them. Avoid. Sex only if you can't help it. If she that bad and you can't pass and you can smash, whatever. She don't think body count matter any damn ways. But other than that, avoid. You don't deal with these women. You can't. The cost is too high. The cost is too high. A real man. Y'all ain't never been with a real man, don't know what a real man is. This is the thing. I'll ask a woman. I've talked to women online over and over and over again, and they talk all this shit. And then I ask them if they have any kids. They tell me yes. I ask them if they married any of the fathers. They say no. I ask them about the character of the dads, and they drag them. And then I ask them, why did you choose to reproduce for a man you don't respect?
multiple men that they don't
Why
respect.
why are you choosing it? What does it say about you? What do you think it says to a husband about you when you choose to reproduce for a man who gives you no commitment whatsoever, no real commitment, right? And he's a fucking loser. You gave a baby to a guy with for no commitment that was a loser. And so what are you doing in my face? What the fuck do we have to talk about? And then you want to drag them in? I'm gonna tell you ladies something, and y'all probably gonna report or ban me for this shit, but I'm gonna tell you something real quick. All right. If you are a lady and you have a baby for a man of ill repute, any of the ladies that are here, if you are a woman and you got a baby for an ain't shit dude, then you ain't shit. You not shit. If you gave a child to a man outside of wedlock and he ain't shit, you ain't proud of the father of your children. He ain't shit. He locked up. He in jail. He this. He a scammer. He a drug dealer. He can't hold a job. He couldn't get his shit together. You ain't shit. I'm gonna tell you a secret since y'all like the law of attraction and the manifest mindset. You are what you attract. The reason you had a baby for him and you was attracted to him is because that's you the female equivalent.
Facts.
When you think that because you make money, you're not the female equivalent, but that's not what men evaluate. When it comes to what a man evaluates, fit, friendly, cooperative, holy shit, agreeable, loyal, honest, feminine, right? When it comes to those metrics, you are the equivalent of that ain't shit dude when it comes to his pockets and his consistency and his honesty and his loyalty and his integrity. Because that's
Facts.
what y'all look at. Those are the character items that should matter for a husband. Y'all are spiritual equivalents. You just think you better because you're looking at your money and your job and you got stuck with the baby. So you think that you're more responsible than him. But you're not. You the same. You the same. There's Pookies and there's Pookishas. And y'all may not like that. You may not want to hear that. You may think it's bashing, but you got no problem talking shit about that man who ain't shit. I agree with you. He ain't shit. Where you and I disagree is that you ain't shit for having his baby. When we put the accountability on you as well as him, that's where we get lost. That's where the conversation breaks up. If we want to have a conversation about men who ain't shit, every woman in this chat, y'all will sit up and cheer my name from the mountaintop. Because I got
Clapping.
plenty to say about them whack ass
Clapping.
motherfuckers.
Clapping. They would
But
be clapping in the chat right now.
oh yeah. But the moment that I say, okay, look, so he's part of the problem, and then the woman's part of the problem too. That's why I look. Well, she didn't know. She was young. He put on a mask. He confused her. He did this. He did that. Now, all of a sudden, the most educated group of women on the planet, all of y'all getting played by some motherfucker that ain't graduate from high school. And nobody's buying it, ladies. I know y'all done heard this rhetoric before. Here's the problem y'all got. Is men are sharing this information across Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, everything. And nobody's buying it anymore. Nobody's buying it anymore. Nobody wants to single independent women anymore. We're all telling them that they're toxic. Nobody wants to work through your trauma with you. Go to therapy, deal with it on your own. Nobody needs to deal with that. Nobody wants to deal with your body counts anymore. That's why you see these conversations online. Everybody's sharing the information. All the men, the OGs, are talking to the young bucks. The OGs are talking to the young bucks. And this dog ain't gonna hunt no more. Y'all gonna find out. Y'all think you can't find a man now? You think you can't find a man now? If you think you lonely now, shit, wait until tonight, goddammit, okay?
Marty. That's what I tried to tell him. That Marty. That's what I tried to tell them. I said, like Marty, like the men of the past, the men in your age range, they were more so open to like being like stepdaddy to little peanut head Keenan, and his sister. They ain't had no problem taking peanut head Keenan to putting him on his first basketball team, putting him on a football team, taking his sister to ballet recitals and putting her in gymnastics and things like that. Listen, let me tell you, woman, something. These modern men, these men of today, like these men in my age, we're not doing that, yo. us that are working on ourselves, us that are accomplished and success, we're not doing that.
And we're sharing the
Nobody, no, hold
information.
on, Marty. Nobody. Thank you for the gift. Whoever just said that. Nobody is out here working hard on themselves, like being dedicated to what it is that they're doing, sacrificing to take care of Ladarius' son or Javion's daughter, or date a woman that got 3 kids and all by 3 different men. And the 3 different men that she got kids by is Ladarius, Keontae, and Devontae. No, nobody's doing that. Nobody's out here. Nobody's out here working in corporate America and trying to climb up the ladder to be with some girl that got Ladarius tatted right above her butt cheeks, and she got Davion tatted on her left titty, and she got Keontae tatted on her right arm. Nobody's doing that.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm gonna tell you something. The only response, and you can see this in the chat, the only response that women have for this dynamic we're talking about is to pretend as if no good men exist. Don't nobody want y'all no way y'all broke. Don't nobody want y'all no way y'all toxic. Don't
right.
nobody want y'all no way blah 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 blah. The only thing that y'all can do is pretend like nobody is having good relationships. The only thing y'all can do is pretend like there are no women finding good men and getting married, and if they are getting married, then every woman is being cheated on. The only thing y'all can do as a response to the situation y'all find yourselves in is catastrophize all relationships as if there's no good relationships, there's no good marriages, and there's no good men. The only defense you have for the fact that nobody who's got their shit together wants anything serious and long term with you is to pretend like these men don't exist, and not that they avoid you like the plague.
And
And
Marty,
that is sad as hell. And fellas, let me tell you something. If you deal with a woman who catastrophizes all relationships, dating, men, and marriage, you don't deal with them. You can't deal with the negative mindsets, and you don't want to take on the responsibility of having to fight your way back from their worst assumptions. Women who are negative about all relationships, I got a girl. I got a girl. I'm happy as a pig in shit. I just went over to her house. She gave me a whole bunch of Christmas gifts and shit. She came over yesterday, brought up, and we had Taco Tuesday. She made nachos for me because I like nachos more than tacos. And she made tacos for the kids. I'm living the fucking dream. I ain't worried about checking for none of y'all. There are good men, and those good men want women who don't have a bad faith assumption about marriage, dating, relationships, none of that. And so when you ladies sit up and act like there's no good men, guess what? Whether you say there are or there aren't, you're right. Because as far as you're concerned, you've created a self-fulfilling prophecy. No man who no people who are healthy protect their peace. Let me say that again for you. People who are healthy protect their peace. And so when men who have their shit together, here you single, you independent, you don't need a man. That body count don't matter. That you want a man, you don't need a man. That all relationships are trash. That all men are broke. That all pookies and ray rays and this and that. And all men cheat and all of this shit. Guess what? They just pass. They just pass. So good luck out there, ladies, with the response that you got, pretending like all men are bad. I know all women ain't bad. I got a good one, right? But a hit dog, a holler. And that's why you in here responding. There's a whole bunch of ladies. There's 338 women in this room. Ain't all of them in the chat going dumb. You want to know why? Because it's a whole bunch of them and none of this shit apply to.
right,
Because they ain't got a whole bunch of kids outside of wedlock by a whole
right,
bunch of whack ass motherfuckers I wouldn't even sit down and have a drink with.
right.
That's why.
They're
But
in they're in,
you in
they're
here
in
going
happy
off.
they're in happy, healthy relationships. They're married. They're engaged to be married.
Yep.
But y'all call those women pick me's. And then when
Yep.
y'all hear someone like Marty talk, when y'all hear someone like me talk, oh, you just got passed over, or
I ain't got passed over
hold
ever
on,
in my
Marty.
life.
Hold on, Marty. You just got passed over. You're gay. You want a certain you
Mm.
don't you're not attracting a certain type of woman that you want. But all and that's the furthest thing from the truth. Y'all just don't want to hear the truth. And y'all just don't qualify for the men that y'all want. That's why y'all say that there's no good men. It's not that there's no good men, it's that you don't qualify for those men that you want. And like Marty said, you disqualified yourself. You've disqualified
Yeah,
yourself from
you
ever being.
just mad because you get to self sort and you put yourself into a bucket where the choices you have you don't like. So you act like there are no good men because you have completely excluded yourself from any reasonable good man wanting to deal with you. That's what your real issue is that
Yeah,
any good man who understands his own value is not going to deal with that woman that you played with 4 kids talking about she's the catch and
right.
all of this bullshit. Like it's delusional. It is a complete disconnect from the
Man, listen,
reality of who you are. It's a complete disconnect from the reality. It's that manifest mindset shit. A lot of these women have been drunk off their own Kool-Aid for so long, and they think because they sitting on some poo nanny. Let me tell y'all ladies something, okay? Like poo nanny is the best thing in the whole damn world. But I'm gonna tell you a secret that most men won't tell you. When we flip all y'all upside down, y'all look like sisters. God ain't put nothing special inside of one of you and then not inside of the other. Ain't none of y'all got some extra ribs in there or a curve or a crook or a muscle on the deep inside that can grab and massage. Ain't no. The thing that differentiates you, I can find sex when I can't find water. The thing that differentiates you is your mindset. And if your mindset is all men are trash, body count don't matter, single independent don't need a man, if your history is you don't let a whole bunch of people smash, relationships are trash, all men suck, all men cheat, da 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 da, then guess what? You manifesting, baby. You got that manifest mindset. You manifesting. Go ahead and live in that. You get
listen.
all of y'all like to the women this applies to. This is a good thing. If this sound like a curse to you, it's because of how you lived your life. Everybody is getting what they deserve.
Right,
If that
Marty. That's
sound
what
like
I
a
always tell
curse
her.
to you, if that sound like I just said something positive to you, then that's because you living your life the way you know you should. If that sound like a curse to you and that pisses you off, then that's a mirror work right there you need to do. Y'all like talking about shadow work and mirror work and shit. That's some shadow work for your monkey ass right there. There you
Marty, listen, we gonna end it on this. Listen, listen, you woman. Oh my gosh. Listen, I'll listen. We gonna end it on this. Let me tell y'all something. Listen, y'all continue to deal with, as we say in these TikTok streets, y'all continue to deal with Pookie, Ray, Ladarius, Keontae, Javion, Davion, DeAndre, Tyrone, Jamal. Listen, I support these brothers. I grew up with these brothers. These are my guys. Listen, to all those brothers, I want you to continue doing the good work that you're doing out here. Because at the end of the day, men are searching for a needle in a haystack these days, and when they do their job, it's very much easier to, like, it's very much because there's so much sorting men have to go through right now. They have to go through all these mazes, right? They have to put all these pieces of the puzzle together. But when Ladarius is getting you out the way, when Keontae is getting you out the way, it does make it easier. So we gonna end it. We gonna end it on that, y'all. Marty, is there any last words? Is there any last word? Yeah, facts. Like I said, they make it easier for us. So y'all keep continuing to deal with them. And like I said, man, listen, for the woman, like Marty said, some of y'all, you already disqualified yourself. Okay, you women that are Marty's age and a little younger than Marty, you've already disqualified yourself. But for the women that's in my age range that haven't disqualified yourself yet, that haven't made these bad decisions that these other women have made, do not make those bad decisions. Because I'm telling you, like, us, we're not the men of the past. Okay, we not doing the stepdaddy thing. We not taking care of little peanut head Keenan. We not putting him on his first basketball team. We not buying him Jordans. We not putting him on the baseball team. We not gonna be playing. We not buying him his first Xbox or his first PlayStation. We not taking his sister to ballet and putting her in gymnastics. We not doing all that. So, and and we gonna end on this. This is what I always say. Listen, all of us wake up every day, and we know, as adults, whether we're younger adults or older adults, we make conscious decisions, and everything we do in life, there is consequences to the there are consequences to the decisions that we make, positive and negative. And ignorance of the law is not an excuse. So just be mindful of decisions that you make before you make them, because like Marty said, like I've said in the past, If you want to go outside and commit a felony tomorrow and have to go do time when you come out, you can't get a certain job. That is on you. Okay, like that's and nobody owes you understanding. Nobody, well, I did this, that. No, nobody owes you understanding. So, no, Tina, I want to bring you up. Marty, is there any last words you want to say, brother?
Yeah, I know that we just went over a lot of harsh shit for everybody to hear. Okay. I know it was hard for to hear that, and it sounds tough, you know, and it sounds mean, and it sounds like I want something negative for y'all. But what I'd like is I'd like for you to take a look at it and understand the reality that you're dealing in. And the fact of the matter is that a lot of you ladies are so disconnected from the reality of the world that you're living in that when somebody tells you the truth, it sounds like they kicking your teeth in. And I know that I could be a lot nicer in how I talk about a lot of these concepts and ideas. And when I'm talking on my channel and stuff, I am. When I open up a live, I am. But when I come into Noble's live, I go ahead and get the party started and I say things a certain type of way so that you guys keep a good dialogue and a good discourse going. But all of the points I said, I mean, I'm just talking about the way that I said them. I know that I could have been nicer. So I'm saying this to you ladies. If you're a young lady and you haven't made any of these bad choices and decisions yet, then look at me as unk, okay? And take the damn advice. Do not listen to ladies who have outcomes you don't want in life. If you do want
Right.
to be married and you do want a family, right? Then the information I gave was for you. If you don't want relationships, you don't want a family, you don't want to be married, you don't want to have a man who's got some integrity and has accomplished some things in his life, then nothing I said applied to you. If you somebody with body count don't matter, you just out here chasing the bag and jumping, riding the cock carousel, then nothing I said meant anything. Okay. So I know that it sounds like I was talking to you. I wasn't. I was just talking about you. And I was using your life, which you haven't figured out yet is fucked up, is a cautionary tale to women who haven't made it down your path yet and to young men so that they know not to deal with folks like you for anything serious because you don't want nothing serious anyways, right? You're not looking to get married. So why tie up a man that wants a wife and some kids, right? So the point of this is to try to help. It really is. It's not to try to drag you ladies, right? And I really do hope everybody gets the things they want out of their life to the best that they can. But I don't think anybody is served by me sugarcoating a goddamn thing to try to make you feel better about the choices that you have made, right? You're
Yeah,
getting
we
enough
don't
of
we don't
that
we
from
don't do
everybody else in the world. Everybody else in the world is giving you enough of that. Nobody else is telling you the fucking truth out here. Everybody is telling you that you can be a hoe and that it's sexually liberated to be a hoe, while simultaneously a guy that's a hoe is a fuck boy and he's low vibrational and this, that, and the other. You women say things out of the same mouth that don't make any sense when you listen to the whole damn thing. And so y'all argue to be 304s and all of that shit. And then at the same time, shame men who act that way. Y'all need to learn to control yourself, this, that, and the other. But I'm sexually liberating if I can do whatever. And so men aren't hearing men, a lot of men, they didn't have a man to mentor them. And so they don't know that what you're saying is just a whole bunch of bullshit and you just running off the mouth because you're young or you don't know any better or you was raised without a dad or you speaking from trauma, right? So in any event, I really do hope that we have an incredible conversation after this. Noble, thanks for having me up. I'll be in the comment section listening. If anybody wants to continue this dialogue with me, let's continue it in the chat section. Stay engaged, and I hope that I hope that that helped the few people that were able to listen to it and eat the meat and spit out the bones and stay the fuck out their feelings. Peace.
all right. Love, brother. I appreciate you.